Hey, good evening, everybody. I ended up having some technical difficulties again trying to record our webinar. I started recording right off the start, probably about 10 minutes before, and I can't seem to find the file. But don't worry, I'm going to completely go over everything I did in the webinar right now because I want to make sure everybody has a chance to see this. So if you missed the webinar today, we are discussing in TrickTrades how to do watch list building for nightly scans. This isn't pre-market watch list building. This is the type of watch list that you do at night that you need to get into the habit of doing every day, because I believe in watching today's market for tomorrow's plays. That's how you really become prepared. And that's really the key to success. I really do believe that. So we'll get into it here. Now we'll get into at the beginning Finviz. Finviz it's finviz.com. Go check it out. You don't need an elite membership. The elite membership I don't have, but the only difference is you get real-time and pre-market data. Their pre-market data starts at 9 a.m. You can back test. You can throw on a whole bunch of different technical indicators and studies, and all that sort of stuff. So it's not a necessity. So we'll go into the screener now. And you can do so much with Finviz. And no, I'm not being paid or anything but like that by Finviz. Finviz is something that everybody uses. Every professional uses Finviz from one time to another. So we'll just go over how to build your own watch list. Now there's probably about 50 different indicators or filters. There's descriptive, fundamental, and technical. Just press the all. So let's start with the price. So most of us will trade stocks $20 and under, let's say, okay? So you put that in, and then it whittles down your list a little bit even more, right? So now we have about 153 different pages. So we want to keep whittling that down. Most of us also play small caps. So you can go into market cap, and then you want to find the small, and that's under 2 billion. Now, you can adjust this accordingly, okay? Don't feel like you only need to play market cap of under 2 billion, like small caps. This is just helping us whittle down, because there's thousands and thousands of tickers out there, right? So another thing is your volume. Now, your average volume and then the current volume. The current volume would be, since you're doing this at night, that would be from that day's total volume, total shares traded. Average volume, now be very careful with this. Now, obviously, you don't want a bunch of tickers up here that trade 20 and 50,000 shares daily. But when you're doing a scan, especially at night, you want to be reviewing some charts, right? And some of the biggest top gainer movers out there, they don't trade really barely anything until they finally pop. They get a catalyst, right? Like news or some sort of PR piece or whatever, right? Or a filing comes out that people get hip to, and then they end up buying it, increasing buying pressure and going up. So be careful with the average volume thing. You want to keep that kind of fairly low, right? Because you don't want to be missing plays. So you got to start somewhere. So let's go over 100,000, right? So then current volume, you want to make sure it's over the average volume, because you want a high relative volume. So that's just giving you the basics. I mean, there's a million different things you can do. When you go up to signal here, you can look for top gainers, losers, new high, new low. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and read the whole thing out, but I mean, there's triangles, double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders. I mean, you name it. It's a very powerful screening software for free. So now that we have this whittled down, we have 42 different screens, right? So go into charts, and this will also be a personal preference of yours. I don't leave it on the technical. I want a closer view because I like looking for gap fills and small gaps and all that. So go over to candle, and there you go. Okay. Now you can quickly go through. Now, you just want to look for stuff that's interesting. And the stuff that is interesting to me are big charts, stuff that the price action has sped up more so than what it has done in the past. So you can see here over the 450 mark of ACHN. Now this is interesting to me because the price action has sped up. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row, and the last day was a really big candle. Okay, and it went over 5 and pulled back. So I would be looking for a first red day short on this. 5 would need to fail. The $5 range would need to fail. So I would throw this onto a watch list. So ACHN, right? So this would be interesting. Now you just go back and you keep going through, right? So I just wanted to give you guys an example of how to build your very own. Now, like I said, you'll have to go through this, and you can mess with all the settings yourself. You know, just go through it and play with it. That's the fun part of trading, right? Is discovering all this new stuff. So we're gonna go into back into Screener. Now I have a bunch of presets I'll share with you. Some of them are my own creation. Some of them have been taken from others. I always start with the green, and here are your settings for green. Now what green is, it's basically just green on the day is all it is. So you're going to have a lot of pages, okay? You have 8 pages. So that's quite a bit. And it's performance up, today up more than 5%. Performance 2, today up. Price under 30, again, that's up to you guys. Change up and change from open up. This one's really simple. And we'll get into more whittled down screeners. So then you go into charts. You can go to candle. And again, you just want to pick stuff that looks interesting. So ACHN, like I said, is interesting because of the price action speed up. It's starting to go parabolic there. And what parabolic means, it just means that the price action is speeding up. ADMP could be interesting. Although it closed on highs, and you can tell that because there's no wick on that candle. It didn't pull back. It closed on highs. It's filled the gap. And what these kind of like to do once they fill the gap is pull back slightly and then rip back up, right? So it might get a pullback to some sort of support, probably in this area in here, and then continue higher. So I would be looking for that, because it's almost like a cup and handle type of play, right? Type of pattern. It's definitely not a very nice cup, right? But you know, it has that shape to it nonetheless. So we'll just continue on. ARL is interesting. Way too low a volume. You see how it has a volume of 3,000 shares. Although it's a nice looking chart, that's way too low. CAMT, I like this for a short, and I'll tell you why. It's went for the most part straight up for the whole entire month of May. It has touched the $7 mark and has pulled back. It couldn't hold the $7 mark, so I'll be watching for a first red day type of move on this. Just give me one quick sec here. I just want to pull something up. That's just my watch list. Okay, so then we'll go back and we'll continue on. Once you get good at this, guys, it doesn't take long to whip through these. Like you can literally scroll about this fast and see what you want to see once your eye is trained, right? But I'm going over it and taking my time. See, Goose would be interesting, and I talked about this in the webinar, but it's an earnings winner, okay? Because that had a really big gap up. But because it's an earnings winner, I'm not even going to bother with it. You could look for a continuation. You could look for the 22 break on that for a long. LPSN. This one isn't bad for a long setup. It's on breakout. It held the breakout level. So I would watch in the morning for a slight red to green move, a slight pullback right to that support. And then a bounce off that support, and then a break through 11. So LPSN would be a really nice watch. Volume's definitely more than adequate. It's just under 1 million shares, which is more than fine for trading small accounts. You can also go down. I mean, there's news on it. This is about earnings estimates. So you always got to watch when the earnings come out. And this says May 10th after the market close. So which is kind of silly because this is about earnings here. So you just got to kind of go through the news yourself, right? That'll be another webinar, how to filter through all the bullshit of fluff PR pieces and news pieces. So we'll continue on. See, this is a shame that this is only, it's under 100,000 shares, because this is the exact chart I look for a short. I mean, it's went straight up parabolic. It's right on resistance, although it's broke that. It'll most likely break, but way too low a volume. Don't even bother with it. And like I said, I mean, you can mess with the settings yourself, right? But I don't like to miss anything, so. Because some charts may be interesting and volume could come in. VICR. This one's not bad. I mean, it's only 100,000 shares traded, right? But, you know, volume's starting to come in, but you can tell going back through history that it doesn't get much more than that. So, you know, you could, but I think there's better plays out there. So that's it for the green. Now let's go to the green scan. And the green scan is basically the exact same scan, but with some other filters in it to kind of whittle it down. See, now there's only 2 pages. So it's performance, today up, performance 2, today up 5% or above, price under 30. Now ATR, your average true range, is at least 25 cents and over. Volatility is over 5% for the week, change up. Pattern is horizontal support and resistance. And change from open up. Now remember, if this is going a little bit too fast, just pause it and write things down, okay? So then you go into the charts, and again, like I said, I like using the candle selection. See, and a lot of the same tickers will pull up as well, right? That's all right though. See, I use this if there's a lot of tickers that pop up on the green. See, RVNC, sorry. This has made the watch list, and I'll be looking for a first red day short on this because the price action is definitely speeding up. Although it's only 350,000 shares traded, because I'm trading a small account, that doesn't scare me at all. I'll be able to get in and out of it. I'm not going to have a problem with 100 shares to get in or out, right? So, you know, you just got to watch spreads. That's all you got to do. I mean, if the spreads are ridiculous, then forget it, right? And the spreads are the difference in price between the bid and the ask. You want a tight spread. If they're too loose, you'll instantly be down a lot before you're even really getting going, right? And you don't want that. So you got to watch for that. But the chart wise, and that's what we're talking about here, is picking charts. This is beautiful for a short, right? Price action, it's went up for 6 days straight, 2 big days, right? And you know, don't be afraid to play a little bit pricier stocks with a small account. You're protected in the respect that, let's say you have a $4 stock and you need to take 1,000 shares of it. Well, a $4 stock, because of the volatility in small caps, can drop a point on you very easily. And $1 of 1,000 shares is $1,000. So that exposes you to risk. With bigger stocks like this, let's say you took 100 or 200 shares, even if it dropped a full point on you, which it probably wouldn't do instantly, you're only going to be down about $100 or $200 at max, right? So that's just some food for thought for you guys. So we'll go back. Okay, so and that's about it for that one. Another one I want to touch on is this is when the market has a red day. This is when you pull out this scan, okay, and you're looking for red days on this. I only pull this one out if the market has had a pullback. So let's say Friday was a bad day in the market, right? Now we're not going to see much in this because it was a decent day in the market. But you're going to want to look for stocks that aren't like not a downbeaten chart or anything, but something that just had a pullback because of it. So it's performance today down, performance 2 today down 5% or more, price under 30, ATR, your average true range of 25 cents, change down, horizontal support and resistance for pattern. So then we'll go to charts. Click candle again. Now, like I said, we might not get a good example of this, okay? See, MRAM has, the dip got bought up on this one, and it did have a pullback, and it's basically a mid-candle breakout scenario. So you could look for a green day. Be careful of this one because this one, the spreads are, they're a little stretched, okay? They're pretty wide on the spreads because I was playing this short on this day right here. So be careful of the spreads, but because that dip got bought up, and it's midway on the candle, that's a pretty good scenario, okay? So definitely watch out for that. And SPI, although I would not recommend longing this at all. The gap from the first green day bounce, and then it gapped up, and now it's starting to walk back down. The gap is almost full, so you could look for a bounce, but I wouldn't touch this one with your money right now. Okay, so that kind of just gives you an example of what scans to use when the market has a pullback day. So we're going to go into one more, and this is what I look for breakouts. It's very simple. It's similar to the one that we built at the beginning. So market cap, I'm looking for small caps on this one. Okay, so under 2 billion, price under 10, and average volume over 200 because you got to start somewhere, and current volume over 300 because you're just looking for a relative volume that's up, like more eyes on it. People are becoming interested in it again. So you go to charts, go to candle. And there's going to be a lot in this one. Like we'll scroll down here. Like there's 9 pages of full charts. So we'll just kind of scroll down and see if anything really catches our eye, right? You want to look for nice setups of breakouts, right? See, this AGRX isn't bad. Right? There's lots of really big top wicks, so it's like you almost want to wait for that 4 break, give it some time, right? Because, or you could play a like kind of a continuation play, like an opening range breakout or a red to green move, but be quick, like take profits and lock in because it loves to give back its gains on the day, right? But this is something that's, you know, it's kind of interesting. It looks like it could be up on breakout. And I mean, that's all you're really doing. You're just looking for tickers that have interesting charts, right? So we'll go through it. See, and this is CAMT again. I mean, I do like this for a short. See, this CYTR, it's a very familiar name from this week. It has a cup. Now it's forming the handle. So watch for a bounce off of some sort of a support level and then a continuation. But there is a gap right here, so it could walk all the way down, fill that gap, and then bounce off that gap support, and then ramp back up. And then once it breaks these levels, you should get the dollar breakout of it. Now, I say should, but I mean, you never know what the fucking market's going to do, right, guys? I mean, you all just want to try and put things, the odds in your favor. Then you just kind of keep going through them. You know, HDSN, and it's also in a hot sector. It's defense, right? It's a defense contractor. You could definitely look for the 850 break, although it's tried a few times, and you can tell by these top wicks that there's a lot of resistance in that level. But HDSN is definitely worth a gander, so I will add that one to my watch list. Because I think the defense industry is going to probably do fairly well in the next little bit. See, HLTH, I love this chart. It's filled the gap, okay? So you see that, it's filled this little gap there. It gapped up and over it. But you see this doji right here. Now, if you remember last week's webinar on candlestick reading, this is a signal for a trend reversal. It's a candle of indecision, okay, and it's also right at a whole dollar number. So I mean, that's great. So you have a set risk versus reward. You can look for the red day, and there's also a gap right in here that needs to be filled. Right? So you might be able to get a nice little short out of HLTH. And I already have that one added to my watch list. Then you just keep going through it. I talked about this one today, MEIP. And the reason why I like this for a potential long is we had a run up, we've had a pullback, and you can see this bottom wick. That's a big bottom wick. That means that there's buying pressure. There's buyers coming in and buying that dip up. And it's over the $2 support area. So now you have whole dollar support. So basically you only have about, I don't know, 10 cents worth of risk on it to potentially make 30 or 40. So you know, that gives you a good 3 or 4 to 1 risk reward ratio. And I mean, that's what we're looking for as traders, are the higher odd, higher percentage, plays, right? So this one is already on my watch list. So we'll go through one more page here, and then I'm pretty sure everyone kind of gets the idea and what to look for and to use the settings. Nerve. I played this, actually Mo and I both played this short on Friday, but it ended up not agreeing with us. I ended up flat on it because as I was trying to set a stop order because I had to go to a doctor, I ended up covering instead, but it kind of worked out in my favor, to be honest, because I think I ended up making a few bucks on it. But there's a doji right there, so it's definitely worth a watch, right? But it is a little bit lower volume as well in the 400. So, I mean, you got to be careful, okay? You want to look for higher volume stocks. Don't get me wrong, guys, when I'm saying, like, I don't necessarily play low volume stocks. I'm just saying don't let them scare you off. That's all I'm saying, okay? Fucking people will Stretch my words. Okay, last page. And we're just looking for nice breakout scenarios. See, ROX, it's such a slow mover though. I'm not even gonna bother with it. It's super. It's usually fairly liquid and everything else, but it's just not. It's not worth it. You need to take a lot of size on it, right? Which it might be fine for some of you guys, but we're mainly catering to small accounts right now. You know, SPWH may be interesting, although it had a red day on Friday and couldn't continue the breakout. You could put it on watch, right, for the reclaim of 6. So okay, that's basically it. Something else I wanted to show you with Finviz is to get the overall market sentiment. Go into Maps. And you want the full view, right? And this is just scanning the S&P 500, but it gives you an overall view of the market and how it's doing and what sectors are good. You could check this for the day, right? Like, well, it's because it's only 3 to 5 minutes delayed. It's not an overly delayed scanner. So technology's up, consumer goods, industrial goods, healthcare is pretty good. Just basic materials seems to be down, right? And financials, of course, right now. So, I mean, that's good. And then you have your groups as well. And this will tell you the overall sentiment in the different sectors. Technology, consumer goods, and you can look for the 1 day performance, so it'd be basically day of or yesterday's, the 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then a year, right? And then year to date. So this is something to definitely look at too and see what areas are hot, right? I mean, that's what we're looking for. And I mean, there's all sorts of different things that you can kind of look through, and you know. So that's basically it. If there's any questions, hit me up in the comment section below. And again, I apologize. I mean, it's really frustrating that this has happened a second time. The first time, it was with a different screen share, and it won't let me convert the file. So I'm going to need Mo's help with that on the candlestick webinar. And now this one, I can't even find the friggin' file. Like it's not even popping up, and I've tried searching for it. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, I'm not a wizard with computers and everything else. I mean, I just know how to fucking trade and do what I do. So, also with Finviz, right on the front of the page, it has a lot of really good information. It gives you the heat map right here. It shows you what the markets did. It has all your signals right here, like top gainers, new high, overbought, unusual volume. Unusual volume is a really good one to take a look. So definitely, I mean, take a look at that one, right? And then this is all you got losers, new lows, oversold, most volatile. Most volatile are going to be your hot shit stocks of the day, right? Like you have EKSO and MBOT. Those are definitely the most volatile stocks of the day. Insider selling, there's insider buying, and then you have all your technicals as well, like trend lines, your triangles, and Finviz is great. So definitely take a look, and remember it's finviz.com, and it'll take you right to it. And no, you don't need a subscription for it. It's new. Definitely sign up for a free account though, because then you can save your screeners, and you can go in, and then you don't have to constantly always have to reset them and everything else. So like I said, if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate. And again, I apologize that I'm still going to try and find the webinar, guys, though. I mean, I haven't given up. I need a solution tonight for you guys. I do apologize. So thanks for everyone's time, and for all the new people, I really appreciate everyone coming out to the webinar today. It was a big success, and extremely happy with the overwhelming response that we've received to this growing project. Couldn't have done it without the help from my right-hand man, Mo. He's Mo Trader. He's my moderator. And, of course, the talented Leslie Ann Jones, which is Trade Beautiful and Trading Beautifully on Discord. So thanks, everyone. And hit me up and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.